Good morning, Sergey. Good morning, Anthawil. Good morning, Jack of all trades. Good morning, Antonio. Good morning, Shadow Hunter. All right, guys. Good morning, Mike. All right. Let's. Good morning, Alejandro. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and get started. We're already kind of 5 past the bottom of the hour here. Just kind of start off with every session here. Morning, Ugly Man. Um, we're going to start like we start every session with a risk disclosure, just kind of informing everyone here that the content published and distributed by the market trader and its affiliates is to be treated as general information only. None of the information provided by the company or contained herein is intended as investment advice and offer to buy, sell, recommend, endorse, sponsor any security, company, or fund. We all understand that future trading does contain a fair amount of risk and is not for every investor. And an investor could potentially lose all or more of their investment capital. Only risk capital money that can be otherwise lost without jeopardizing one's security should be used for trading, and only those individuals with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Okay, nothing contained again herein is a solicitation to buy, sell futures, options, or forex. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Okay, so now that we got the risk disclosure out of the way, we can go ahead and move into the review of the news. All right, see what news we have ahead of us that could impact our trading. Okay. So we've already had the New York Fed manufacturing report come in. Looks like that came a little bit under forecast. Okay. We have some inflationary numbers from the New York Fed coming in at 11 a.m. Eastern time, and then we have a couple of members here. Couple of members coming in to, I guess, speak. We have Fed member Daly coming in at 11:30. Fed member Kugler coming in at 1 p.m. Okay, so, and then of course we have the regular option expiration report, European option expiration that has always has the potential of impacting futures markets. That happens every day at 10 a.m. Eastern time. So again, something to be aware of here. Okay. Let's see. So we have the Fed member. I'm just kind of looking at the right here and seeing we have any other kind of news events. Okay. All right. Looking ahead at the week here, in a couple of days, we have actually quite a bit of news coming in. We have jobless claims. We have core retail sales, EIA. Okay. So, yeah. So news coming. Okay. I guess a bigger news event, a bit bigger news day coming a little bit later in the week. Okay. All right. Now that we've gotten through the risk disclosure and the news, we can go ahead and start reviewing the markets. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and start with our regular market that we always start with. And that's the, let's see here. Just want to make sure I picked the right. Move into the platform here, guys. So let me make sure that I choose the right platform. Okay. All right. All right, let's try this again. It's not picking up what I want to pick up here. Okay, I think I found it. All right, here we go. Taking a look at the market here. So you guys should be able to see my chart. I'm going to go ahead and move it to the regular mini contracts here. If I can get it to take here. All right, here we are. Okay, so one thing that I don't see here that I've started to add to my charts here is higher time frame overlays. Okay, higher time frame chart overlay. Yeah, that one right there. Okay, and then we'll make some adjustments here. We'll come to this here in a minute, guys. If I haven't introduced this just yet, you'll understand it a little bit better here later as I get into the review here. I'm going to reduce the size here a little bit, and we're going to move this over to we don't need a status panel. Okay, and we're going to move this over to the right. Okay. Come on now. You can do it. Oh, man. Wow. Okay. Now it should be better. Okay. All right. And next thing I'm going to do here is change this not to the daily chart, but we'll move it to the 4-hour. That's kind of the time frame of choice here. And let's see, we're not going to make it as bold. Just kind of blend it in here with the rest of the charts. Okay. So as I mentioned often, guys, that it's very important, in trading to understand what the higher time frame is doing. Okay. Bonjour, health freak. It's always important to understand what the higher time frame is doing. So sometimes I've caught myself losing sight of what the higher time frame chart is saying. Okay, I get too micro focused, lower time frame focused, and I lose sight of what the higher time frame is saying. So what I found is a utility that allows you to I guess get a little snippet of what the higher time frame chart is saying. Okay, so while I have the 15-minute chart on my while I have the 15-minute chart, I have on the bottom right here a little overlay that shows me what the 4-hour chart is saying. Okay, so if I again we talk about how the importance of being in line with the higher time frame, because that is in line with the basically will provide you the momentum, right? The higher time frame, the more sustained the move is at a higher time frame, the more likely that move is going to continue. Okay. So yeah, so that's kind of what this is about. Okay. In the past, if you guys have seen my screens in the past, I've kind of had my screen here split into two. I'd have my on the left side, I'd have my 4-hour. On the right, I have my 15-minute. Now I don't need to give up that much screen real estate, okay, to review the market or to review the instrument. Okay, so hopefully that gives you a little bit of a background as to the why I'm adding this to my chart. Really is to kind of keep me in line with the higher time frame, and rather than giving up 50% of my screen real estate to accommodate that, I'm only giving up I don't know, less than 10%. Okay. All right. Okay. So let's go ahead and start our review now of the gold market. So we'll go ahead and move on to the daily chart. Okay. So here we are on the daily chart. We have this area of demand. Okay. And we see that price is reacting currently away from it. Okay. In an otherwise bullish move, right? So you can see here that let's see, remove remove drawings here. Okay. So you can see here that we continue to be in this kind of structure, bullish structure to the upside. Okay. We continue to make higher highs and higher lows. And if we look at the last three candles, we basically have a developing bullish candle with much more of a buying wick, right? With volume delta also indicating that there is a little bit of strength coming in from this move. Okay, looking at ADX, ADX is kind of, I would say, the momentum to the upside maybe might be a little bit fading, although we still have our positive DI above our negative DI. So again, still telling us that there is some bullish momentum in this move. Okay, moving on to the 4-hour chart. Okay, so the 4-hour chart should look somewhat familiar to what I have here on the right hand side. Okay, you can see that the overlay should match up with what we're seeing here on the left, and it does. Okay, I just limit the number of candles that I need to look at here. Okay, so let's remove the initial balance. Let's turn this off for a second. See. Let's turn off ASR. Let's turn off this for a second. Okay. All right. So what's the 4-hour telling us? Well, similar thing that we were seeing on the daily chart, right? We reached a level of supply, and for now has been met with some resistance. Okay. 2680, 2700. This is an area where we could expect to find some sellers, and price got there, and we did find some sellers here on Monday, right? And now, come Tuesday, all right, we are starting to see some reaction in the other direction. Okay, so you can see here that price came down to an area where we could expect some buyers. Okay, and price has reacted away from it. Now, if this move is going to continue to sustain to the upside, then we need to close above 2680. Okay, on this chart in order to continue to, I guess, align with the current move. Okay, volume delta again is very much aligned with the move. Kind of trying to get my ADX indicator to cooperate here. ADX indicator is a little bit mixed, right? We have a lot of overlapping positive DI, negative DI, and the ADX itself all kind of overlapping. So not really an area, that's indicating any sort of direction necessarily. Okay, we have kind of a waning momentum indicator. We have the negative indicator, negative DI exceeding the positive, so that maybe gives a little bit of indication that maybe there might be a little bit of strength to the downside, but far too overlapping to really pick a direction here. Okay, all right. Looking at the 30-minute chart. Okay, looking at the 30-minute chart again, we have a solid candle here on the 30 coming off the settlement price here. Okay, right, and also above daily VWAP. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and draw my anchored VWAP on the inflection that we got here in London. Okay, at the start of London, we got a strong inflection. Number of buyers looks like stepped into this market and during London. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and select our anchored VWAP here. Okay, so here it is. We're going to go ahead and draw that in. Okay, so again, we're above settlement. We are above the anchored VWAP. We're above the daily VWAP, all indicating to us that there's maybe some further upside move. Now, what we are seeing is that on the 30-minute, it seems like we are developing, again, this candle is far from being complete, but we are beginning to see a little bit of maybe a little bit of a double top. Okay, we'll see how this current candle closes. Okay, looks like we are maybe struggling a little bit to get above 2673. Okay, do not want to see, if I'm bullish, do not want to see price get below daily VWAP or settlement price or anything along those lines, because if we do, that could lead to some price action to the downside. Okay, All right, so let's go ahead and add our levels here to the chart. I'm just going to locate my spreadsheet here and see if I can find that without too much trouble. Okay, we'll go ahead and add our levels. We'll double confirm our levels, and then we'll maybe come up with maybe